Hey guys, what is up? This laid back Texusion here doing a review of Dangan Rompa, the animation episode 8. Now this episode takes up right after episode 7 left off, where the characters are basically inspecting what's her name? Ogami's death. And this death at first glance was like I underestimated this death. And in the end, it turned out to be very simple, but I still underestimated this death. And sorry about if you hear any background noises. I'm on my patio right now, so if my hair cars go by and stuff. But anyways, I underestimated this death. I thought I had it down. I swore that Togami had did it. I swore it did it, but I always kind of thought if Togami was gonna kill somebody, then it would be very difficult to understand and figure out, very convoluted and multiple steps that were very like precise death. So I kind of ruled out Togami, despite him having a dislike for Ogami. So my next thought was one that I think everybody who doesn't play the games and just watch the anime, I thought originally that what's his name? Hagakure, or I think that's his name, how you pronounce it. I thought he was the one that originally like did it because he's so like random. It's like his personality in the beginning of the show was like very, how do I put it? He was very much of a shy, not okay, that's totally wrong, not shy. He was more like confident in things, like he was more social in the beginning of the anime. He became more scared and more like reserved and not really willing to put himself out there as much because everybody's dying around him or being killed, you know what I mean? So basically this episode skips very quickly to the trial, which I don't know how I feel about that because I like the feeling of actually getting some type of pre investigation to the crime scene on some like Detective Conan and on some like Phoenix Wright type stuff where they show us the crime scene and they allow us to look at it before we actually have to like go right to the trial and stuff, because that way it at least gives the viewers a way to decide on their own who's the killer, and then in the end you could be like, oh, it was really that person, wow. But they didn't have much of that here. This episode was basically all about the feels, bro. I mean, look at all the feels they had in this episode. They had a lot, and you had to deal with a lot of feels this episode. Although the only issue I have with these kind of animes where characters are basically meant to get killed off is kind of like what I call the battle royale syndrome, where some characters are just blatantly less important than other characters, and I don't even feel the need to like. Sometimes I pick and choose who I care about more than others, and Ogami wasn't really one of the people I cared about as much. And to be honest, she never really showcased any particular um like characteristic that's only to her. I mean, sure, she was big and brolic, and she was like, I guess, supposed to be like a fighter, like a hand-to-hand combat type. But her death really didn't, and the whole time on the show in general didn't really showcase any of that, except for the end of, or I think the beginning of episode 7, last episode. So I didn't really see much use in her still sticking around. But her death was a very honorable one, and it was a cool one at that. I mean, if you're gonna be in this kind of situation, I think it would be best to just kill yourself in the end and be like killed by basically, you have a choice to be killed by somebody who you probably are supposed to trust, a group of people who you're supposed to trust, or be killed by like Mono Bear after you've been caught getting like killing somebody. So it comes to a point of sometimes it would be just easier to just take yourself out, and I think that she did the right thing in regards to this. But I do like how the episode made it look how very messed up it was, the way everybody like like prejudged her and basically didn't trust her to just have a to just like to sit down and talk about like all what's going on, and that she just wanted to apologize to them for being very mean and working with Ono Bear to basically keep track of everybody and betray everybody. That it got to a point where I really did feel that she was genuinely sorry, and I did feel how it was messed up that um, Hagakure and Genocide CEO would basically beat the shit out of her, like smash bottles across her head, and she didn't fight back. She just basically took it and was like, "Yeah, I kind of deserve this." So that was very cool of her. I give her that. But I really wanted to skip the review of the episode. I mean, this is episode review, but I wanted to skip the recap of the whole episode as it kind of skipped, like I said, it skipped directly to the trial. So it's not like we missed any important facts that they're not gonna like just throw in your face basically during the episode itself. But I do want to get to the end. I really want to skip to the end because the end is the part that really interested me the most in this episode. Because a lot of stuff happened in the end really quickly without no explanation, and it kind of was like a tease to the episodes coming up. So basically, what ended up happening was, first thing that happened was that Togami surprisingly couldn't figure out who killed Ogami and couldn't figure out who he couldn't make it to the end like he usually does and figure out the culprit like Naigi and Kirigi usually do, and it kind of pissed him off because I don't think like it's obvious he doesn't like losing, but he definitely was not happy that his his problem with not caring about the emotions of feelings of other people came back to bite him, and that he really was lost in this whole investigation, and it could have cost him his life. So he has a good right to be pissed at himself, honestly, not at anybody else, but at himself. And basically, another thing that happened was that there was a lot of there was a lot of very fucked up moments towards the end with Mono Bear. Mono Bear did a lot here. I mean, he has to keep his intimidation in the show and around the other students, so he definitely did a lot here. But basically, what ended up happening was that Mono Bear wrote a fake will for Ogami, gave it to Asahina, had Asahina read it, and then blamed the other students for basically the death of Ogami, only for Mono Bear to come back and basically say, "Oh no, I actually wrote that. I just scribbled that down in like 5 minutes before the trial started. I'm just fucking with you guys." And it was so messed up because her face was like, I can't believe it. Like, this is even Bear. That's so messed up. Like, I can't believe. Like, I don't even see him. Like, I know he's a threat, but I don't really see Mono Bear as like an intimidating character or like the villain figure on the show. I just see him as fucking fucked up. Like, I mean, jeez. And then he read, but he did read Ogami's actual will. Not all of it, because towards the end they revealed that Ogami kind of figured out more than she should have, and he decided not to read parts, like the ending parts of the will. And they even said some stuff that now has me all fucked up. Now, the original thought that the show was trying to show us is that all these characters have met before, or they apparently have known each other before they actually got to the high school, and then they're talking about somehow their memories were erased, or what's his name? I forgot the guy's name. It's the fat guy. He before he died, he basically talked about how he knows who everybody is, and they messed with their memories and stuff. And Ogami had said something in her will at the end, talking about free me or stuff like that. Stuff like they did something to our bodies and stuff. So I really am stumped right now on what's going on. Like I know there's the whole subplot of all the students knowing each other and they have to like figure out what happened, how did they really get here and stuff like that. But there seems to be a lot of mystery behind that, and it's not really getting explained or it's not really getting pushed to the forefront of the story. I think more people are now focused on, even at this point, I don't get why, but they seem to be more focused on killing each other at this point. But I'm pretty sure that's gonna stop at the end of this episode because every character has basically, or almost every character has basically admitted that they're gonna stop killing each other to find the headmaster and find a way out of here. Sadly enough, they couldn't agree on that when there were way more people still alive, but hey, they're gonna have to deal with what they got now. And if the death of Fujisaki wasn't enough, Mono Bear somehow figured out the location of Alter Ego and proceeds to, I guess, if you want to say, kill Alter Ego. Now, this came to me as much of a shock as it did to the characters because Alter Ego was like the embodiment of true hope for them, really, because it was the only thing that had any sort of semi connection with the outside world. I mean, it itself was stuck in the building, but the fact that it could get into networking, could figure out like certain things and tell them the history of the school and what's really going on. Now that Alter Ego's gone, I really don't know how they're gonna figure out the headmaster. I don't know how they're really gonna do any of this. I had wished very, very early on in the series that maybe Naigi would go back into the AV room and watch everybody's like video that Mono Bear had showed them in order to get a better connection to all the characters and like see who's like see why they would go to the point of killing each other. Like what's the true intent for everybody? Like what happened to everybody? Who do they have? Who have they kidnapped? Who have they hurt in their families, their lives? Because the AV room, I guess, technically still has all the videos of all the situations out in the outside world that all these guys are in. And Ogami herself mentions that the headmaster kidnapped her, like her dojo or something like that, kidnapped the people in her dojo, so she had to work for him or something along those lines. But yeah, the episode ended out with basically a lot of mystery to the future of the series. I'm not sure how long the series is gonna go. I haven't checked, but it seems like it's coming close to its end, and I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's not. I don't see how this is gonna end per se. Like, I get that the show's taking its plot twist now, and it's starting to build up for even bigger plot twists and unveilings later on. But there isn't like if this is just a 13 episode series, then this isn't much of an unveiling or anything like that. Like I said, I'm sorry for the background noise. Like I have a lot of stuff going on in my patio right now. So overall, this episode was a pretty good. It was pretty good. I mean, it didn't really flesh out any of the characters. It had its usual serious, if you want to say, tone to it, and it wrapped up things very quickly with a tease to what's to come. So I guess this episode would more be just a setup episode, but you know, I just can't be completely sad for Ogami's death because it's not something that I really cared about much. I mean, then again, I'm the kind of guy that said that they really did Ishimaru dirty by like killing him off the way they did without a word, no sort of attention or anything like that. He's just dead. He hit one hit to the head and he's dead, which I don't think was fair because he's my favorite character. So damn, damn, damn. But yeah, I'm gonna give this episode a 7.5 out of 10. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. It wasn't anything that I really like. Like I know the series has had better episodes, so it wasn't great. But it was a good episode overall. I can't wait to see what they have planned next. Like all the plot twists and reveals that are coming up. And I don't want to make this review too long. So this has been Playback to CG.